Biofrost had a close game versus CLG to start the day. I think it was.
You don't want to be grossed out.
I think it was one of those things where they just didn't know how to play against the TF. Ooh, Renekton. So this is what I was talking about in the previous draft, actually. Something that doesn't seem to have as much priority in North America as we've been seeing globally. I'm glad to see it first picked here. You see a very low pick and ban rate for the lock-in, but globally it just seems to be everywhere. It has a lot of strong matchups. There was a time where Gwen could counter the Renekton on release. Gwen was pretty overtuned and through level 1, and like only GP could really contest at level 1. But since then, I've talked to some people. I think the Renekton actually has swung the matchup back in his favor, which is why I think a lot of the times if you want to play the Gwen, a lot of people are banning the Renekton first. That's my theory. I'm not exactly sure why it seems so much higher priority, other than just like it's a pretty self-sufficient, tanky meatball who can make plays, get ahead, snowball, front line.
Dominus,
yeah,
hang around forever.
Kind of does everything.
And Impact in particular, ever since joining Evil Geniuses, has been going through an evolution away from I'm just that weak side, top side player. But when he is on carry picks, it often is the Renekton that he shows out on. So having something that he can comfortably pilot in this matchup. Meanwhile, on the opposite side for Dignitas, they lock in Lee Sin River. Produced a lot of highlight reels on this particular pick during his international play last year. It's come through in dominance within a lot of the matches thus far within the lock-in tournament. And he got Jinx going a lot earlier than she did during the last game.
Yeah, Jinx obviously super high priority. Globally, we've talked about. The Lee Sin, I'm excited to see for River, something with a little bit more individual playmaking, especially with the Xin Zhao banned out by EG, one of the stronger bullies in the meta, though. I like the Diana pick as well here. We're getting something a little different. We haven't seen a ton of Diana, but we've talked about her a lot as being just under the surface of the meta, and we're waiting to see people pull it out. Now we have it here. This does open up some potential combinations, like the Yasuo stuff. We'll see if they're trying to bait Blue into picking, you know, the Victor or something like that. It's a mobile, and you can try and hop on it, though that can be a bit of a tough matchup. Instead, it's a LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
Yep.
Time and time again. I am very excited about this Diana, though, because it is one of those picks that went through a little bit of tuning in 12.1, a little bit of easier time farming, a little bit of extra AP damage, and obviously has an ultimate that can be so effective in a lot of the team fighting later, and with so many teams going for that attempt to get stronger in the late game, something that you can play around. But yeah, LeBlanc. Always hanging out.
And of course, I have to acknowledge the Senna. I think that's the first time we've seen it in North America so far.
There was a ban of her at one point, right? I'm trying to recall.
There might have been a
ban.
Against. I'm not sure we've seen it picked yet, though. We'll have to see. Assuming it's fasting Senna, I think that means Danny's going to play it, and Vulcan will get some sort of frontline tool. I mean, Senna set was one of the most popular combinations of it, and I know I've seen some set support around the world still, even when not paired with the Senna. Dig banning out that Yasuo, like I said, that combination is pretty disgusting. they just don't want to deal with it. Not too much of a surprise to see that. And you know, with some of the mismatches, mid locked in for Dignitas, they're going to ban those out. Support not locked in yet for the Jinx. They're getting rid of some of her strongest combinations. Thresh already taken care of. Lulu up next.
The big old prominent supports that we have seen, and I'm sure we'll continue to see throughout. But I do like how this draft is shifting a bit differently than some of the other ones that we have seen today, and kind of that cascading effect of locking in that Senna earlier and how it affects Dignitas' approach to the rest of the game. And Nautilus, the last ban coming through for Dignitas. No Gragas will be played. We know that FakeGod, for instance, has already piloted that pick.
Yeah, it's been weak side FakeGod for the most part. 2 Gragas games and a Malphite so far in lock-in, getting rid of one of the most comfortable matchups for him. The Malphite is still available. Maybe they'll hold that for last pick to see what happens mid instead. Grab your support here. Yeah, like this. They go for the Rakan. Even without Xayah being in the meta, Rakan has actually looked really good these last couple of days in global as well as today in North America. I've been pretty impressed with the Rakans that we've had so far. Poom had a great game on it. We'll have to see if Biofrost can pull it out this time.
It's actually one of the picks that Boom, for instance, played a lot last year during his time in Academy, now getting to show out. And it's just a lot of versatility within the kit. You've got the CC lockdown. You can build in a way that's more protective for the rest of your team and shielding up. All of those tools that if a support knows how to work them, you can be very effective in the team fights. But it's Leona on the opposite side for Vulcan, a trusted support pick, my baby, when I'm trying to climb, and I'm always happy to see her in pro play.
Boo!
Not boo!
I thought it was gonna.
Yay!
I thought it was gonna be a cool support. Leona's fine, don't get me wrong. She just doesn't use the extra gold that you get from farming quite as effectively as some of the other champions who can start really changing their build path with the extra influx of gold. For Leona, it's like you get to build a couple more support items, you get to be a little bit tankier, and that's kind of it. Though the tryndamere, I was going to say one of the nice things about support, when you take the Senna in the bot lane, a lot of times you don't play around it that much, and you can sink a lot more resources into your solo lanes. And I think with the Renekton and the tryndamere, that's exactly what they're doing.
Tryndamere is not the first tryndamere that we have seen within lock-in, but the first one for Evil Geniuses, I believe. I'm very curious to see how this fares for our last game of the group stage.
Yeah, I want to see also exactly which lanes it goes in. I assume it's going to be tryndamere mid, but they always have the ability to flex it around. The Gwen was taken as the response in the top lane. We were talking about maybe that's one of the reasons Renekton's banned. We'll see how much of an issue it actually is. FakeGod, first time playing the carry matchup into Impact, who's been pretty good so far in lock-in tournament. Not talked about the most because EG has a ton of players to talk about, but he's actually had some pretty great performances so far.
He's always been that rock, and sometimes you run out of things to say about the rock when he's being that good rock.
He's still good. Anyways.
He's still good. He still does the things, and we like it. But we're going to be taken to the Rift soon enough. Some interesting picks, as we noted, coming through for this last draft. And you love to see when on the Evil Geniuses side, for instance, they are 3-0 currently within their scoring. So having that opportunity to experiment a bit. We saw, for instance, in the Team Liquid game earlier, some experimentation coming through. So it's very on trend for the day. Yeah,
I think it makes sense given that we already talked about how EG is locked at #1. You can experiment a little bit more here. Jojopyun feels like he's been playing the meta. You know, he's been doing what his coaches want. Yeah, I can play the Corki, I can play the Victor, I can play the TF. Now he's like, guys, it's the last game. Let me have some fun. Here you go. Here's your tryndamere, Jojo. Show everyone why they should be excited about you.
He played a lot of things like Silas last year, just a lot of versatility in the picks that he brings through his pool. So I am pretty stoked that we get to see that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big thing that people were talking about with him was like, hey, this kid's got great hands and he's really aggressive. You should be excited about him. You actually have to put him on something aggressive so we can see that. His TF was pretty aggressive. I'll give him that. That was a very good game out of him.
Now that we're actually loaded onto the Rift, and we can tell you for sure, Jojopyun, yeah, definitely on that tryndamere. Impact definitely back on that Renekton when we haven't seen him there for some time. Also worth noting how inspired on this Diana, specifically calling out in his interviews how he likes to capitalize upon the aggression of the rest of his teammates. So maybe a lot of playmaking potential for him to take onto this pick.
Yeah, I think I'll be interested to see how Dig wants to attack this tryndamere. LeBlanc is a pretty gross combination for setting up a lot of kills on mid laners usually, but the tryndamere might be able with the spin away to survive some of that. Plus when you hit 6, you have your ult to pop and kind of run away. He's a little hard to exploit in the early game. Starts Doran Shield, mostly just wants to focus on hitting the wave and farming up. And you see Blue wanting to play really aggressive, basically going melee range against him. In Jojo, it's a lot more of a pick focus on getting into the side lane with a really strong lead and then it just being annoying to deal with. You see a lot of Gale Force, Navori Quickblade, and you just want to keep slapping away at things.
Definitely a lot of split push potential, and you noted how River could maybe make some plays around Blue in that mid side, but just being on a very early aggressive jungler in general can really play to his strengths. We heard from the desk, for instance, them talking about the fact that he can have more of a facilitative play when comparing him to Exyu and really work into the aggression when needed, but being cool and collected. Jojo getting a lot of poke there in the mid lane, as you expect with LeBlanc and the burst that she can have right up front. Meanwhile, down a bot, getting the shove from Danny and Vulcan. Over on top, though, FakeGod, he's going aggressive onto Impact. He does have the Gwen with a little bit of that extended range when empowering her abilities.
Yeah, maybe it's still early matchup favored Gwen, apparently.
A little bit.
Yeah. Impact gonna be fine under the turret. Doesn't have to worry about a dive. Lee Sin not quite there yet. I assume inspired, being the big brain MVP jungler from the LEC that he is, able to say, hey, don't worry about the timing on Lee Sin. He shouldn't be there quite yet. You're safe underneath the turret. So going ahead, farm up there, stay safe under. And Diana, a little bit less aggressive, 3-6. Won't be making too many plays before then. Just working with his bot lane's priority right now to go secure the Scuttle Crab in River.
It's pretty wild when we talk about the young potential of players like Jojopyun, of Danny down bot, but inspired, former MVP up. Never mind, hold that thought. A little bit of a skirmish here. Double root onto Neo and Biofrost, but they are within the safety of not just their wave, but close to the turret as well. So some aggro. But anyways, inspired, only 19 years old, already has those accolades. So we think about how strong he is and how he is this facilitative point for the rest of the team to grow. But River looking to maybe make a play over here. Root directly onto tryndamere, goes in with a Q, spin it away.
No way.
Jojopyun
No
finds
way.
safety under his turret. River, can you get away? He just takes the shots and leaves. Inspired flashes for it, gets the burn down. That is first blood for the young gun.
No way, River gets baited underneath the turret. Blue set it up so cleanly. He has the root, the guaranteed Q. He just thought that the Q was gonna finish him off. Jojopyun had time to flash out of the E, and then after that, River was playing chase down. I wonder if he popped his heal to increase his health. I'd have to see if he was holding it there. Maybe that's why the Q didn't execute. We'll see if we get this in slow motion. Yeah, so River does a good job landing the chain for guaranteed setup, or excuse me, Blue does, for River to take this. Yeah, I think the mocking shout actually might have reduced the AD enough that it didn't actually get the execute. If he got that off before it came in, I'm not sure. Jojopyun did something to live there because River was surprised the Q would not kill him. I was surprised that the Q was not enough to kill him. And Inspire just doing a good job punishing the overextension out of Dignitas.
After that, just so much escapability, spinning, slashing away, and then, oh no, there's a jungler on the other side here to punish me for that. But what a way to crack open this game. Evil Geniuses taking that lead with first blood. But down here, bot, Neo is on the Jinx. A pick that we have talked about time and time again because of her prevalence within this meta.
Yep.
And starting to get that farm short up here. A little short with the E from Vulcan, but looking for some extended harass to allow Danny to clear this up a bit.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's nice about the Senna pick is just the sustain that you have to not need to be super clean with your engages. As long as you're not going to get all in, you're pretty safe to keep looking for them time and time again. So that is one of the things that Senna can do. It's why, like, yeah, Biofrost had a nice punish on Danny when Vulcan stepped out of lane, you saw earlier, but it just gets healed up so easily. And the range that Senna has makes her pretty hard to punish, and it really enables some good roaming for your support to go out on the map and try and affect something.
And it's an eat good Senna who's going to keep eating good down there in
True.
bot lane. So when Vulcan has the opportunity, he can roam up to make sure that there's some additional security from the jungler moving up there, but over in the top side, still going to continue getting that poke down. We saw FakeGod on Gwen and how much damage you can output right off the bat. Level 6 means the needle work. The first one connects, but the second one does not, so Impact stays alive, having that dominance pop for himself.
Yeah, good job by FakeGod, though, forcing the flash out with the use of Ignite. That's exactly what you want to do in this matchup. Make sure that he is not able to flash away should your jungler come back up there again. Now you have a shorter cooldown on Ignite for when you want to make a repeat play. Next time he won't be able to flash away.
Meanwhile, over on the bot side, Drake was not quite completed when Inspired started poking it down before. Right now, able to get the scuttle. A couple red side control wards on the outskirts in the enemy jungle alongside that bot lane bush. So maybe have some kind of semblance of knowledge, but Evil Geniuses are taking the first Drake under their belts.
Yeah, Diana, now that she's 6, becomes a lot bigger of a threat. Now she actually has some crowd control to bring to her ganks. Her flash is on cooldown, but it should be up in around a minute and a half. And so you want to get kind of deep wards, I feel, against Diana to really see her coming a little bit early, because she can be such an explosive ganker. If you don't see her, you know, just coming flying out of the fog of war, pulling you in with her ultimate, especially if you're comboing with CC in the lanes, which both top and bot do have. So it's going to be something that Dignitas have to be very mindful of going forward now in the game.
And while Diana is level 6, River's still waiting to get there at level 5. Bot lanes too, not quite with the ultimates ready for them.
Yeah, I mean, River is in a bit of trouble after Inspired focused more on clearing. River went for that aggressive play underneath the mid turret. Not only does he die, Inspire's the one who gets the kill and gets to keep his farm up now. So already a 20 CS advantage for Inspired, as well as the kill. He's well on his way to picking up his mythic item. And then Diana can just kind of play pretty free, honestly, not have to worry so much about face checking the Lee Sin.
Yeah, which is why Lee Sin just going to hang out in his own jungle, say, all right, I need this time. Let me be for a little bit. I need my personal space. But Inspired pushing upon him. Red buff is the target, does get completed and finished off by River. A little bit of a Q thrown out by Inspired after blast coning over the wall. And since he knows where the enemy jungler is, it gives him that freedom to start up this Rift Herald.
Yeah, push him out. Vulcan moved up as well. Yeah, it was in the back pocket of Inspired the whole time. Now they're going to turn that into a Drake take. Jojopyun playing zoning duty, though. Chasing Biofrost out.
Keeping his eyes on Biofrost, steps away from the Q from River, who's now circling around. Impact has exited from the lane to keep his eyes on this objective. Jojopyun getting some zoning out from Blue, who's making the rotation but nobody wants to follow up here. So objective secured for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, Neo even kind of made the move up there. I'm a little surprised given that Blue was half health and kind of low mana. It didn't really look like they had a way into that fight. And EG get it for free, and Senna already on the reset, going to get a small tempo advantage now. And Vulcan's just going to help shove this wave out and meet him down in the bot lane.
Yep, supports already keeping their attention elsewhere for the moment being, but then now with Danny going and finding his way back to the bot lane, should continue to get up that farm. Has been fairly even in the later portions. Jojo deep into enemy territory, swinging away on the Biofrost. Chompers end up landing directly below him, gets the zap as well, activates the ultimate, the Undying Rage to exit. Vulcan and Inspired were here for backup. Oh no! Ultimate thrown out from Neo, gets the finish up onto Jojopyun as soon as that ultimate expires.
Perfectly timed by Neo there, betrayed a little bit by his team. I don't forget which one it hit, but the AoE explosion finishing off Jojopyun. Nice punish there. I mean, sometimes when you're playing tryndamere, you really do think you're unkillable, but there is a window on that. Just a little bit too far forward there.
Just a little bit of something that you have to be aware of. Darren in top, though. FakeGod looking to get the lockdown onto Impact after that ultimate. Feeling good in the 1v1.
Impact thinking that he could take him there. Ignite came back up. Might have mistimed that all in a little bit, but it looked good initially. Just couldn't get his Q cooldown up. I think he was waiting on trying to finish him off. FakeGod finished him before his snip came back up too, so not what you want to see. It's going to get worse quickly for Renekton in the side lane. If the Gwen gets ahead and can complete her Riftmaker and start snowballing on the Renekton, it gets ugly fast.
And the games we saw earlier from Gwen, it was a bit more tempered because not getting that opportunity to really snowball. But at this point, with a kill under your belt, able to get that back, work towards that mythic item, so you can just be just that much more of a threat in the later portions of the game. But Evil Geniuses, while the gold is still fairly even, only about half a K, they're still maintaining that level of control, still warding up, and still looking for their opportunities.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting game because it's the first time that both teams are matched in the 1-3-1 idea. So if Jojopyun gets ahead, but so does FakeGod, what lane assignments do you start to do? It starts testing your lane assignment and knowledge of matchups a lot harder as he's trained up again.
Another lock with the ethereal change means River can follow up, but Undying Rage popped once again by Jojopyun. This time he can safely retreat, but did have to expel those resources. Over on top though, we got the teleport coming in onto the red side turret. Impact, Vulcan, and Inspired on the retreat because of it. Blues made his way through. Get some autos onto Vulcan, who uses the Hex Flash out of this. Meanwhile, Biofrost has come through, lands for a moment onto Impact, but just going to get the disengage with the waves coming through in the fray.
Yeah, nice stun by Impact there.
Good, though.
So a lot of map movements going on. They get the chunk out on Jojopyun. Hold on, they're still going.
Oh no, FakeGod now the subject of 3. Biofrost bringing his way into it to activate the ultimate after flashing. You're not getting the ultimate until this very moment. River finds the safety of getting the safeguard on to an enemy, but in the end it's Impact that falls. 2 for 1 right now, Dignitas losing, and Jojopyun, after shoving up in that mid lane, finds Blue right in front of his face. Swings over the wall, a flash from Blue, answered by a flash into the red pit, and Jojopyun a thumbs up just to emphasize his escape.
Oh man, Jojopyun almost dies, but barely gets out again. This game is basically a highlight reel of Jojopyun almost dying and sometimes getting out. Sometimes still dying. Yeah. That was a slight misplay. Hold on, there's a rocket going right for him.
Rocket right. Oh, he saw it.
Yeah, someone called it out. They were like, move!
Whew.
Oh god.
Oh, sweat forming on my brow.
Yeah, this is some white knuckle gaming.
You know, it's definitely, I think his goal is just to narrowly survive enough times where you forget about where he didn't actually make it out.
Yeah, this is a crazy game. There's so many similarities in the team comps. Not only all the 1-3-1 stuff, but the AD carries having global ultimates to support team fights. You saw in that top lane skirmish, Biofrost actually had a nice counter engage, but then the Senna ult ripped through that fight, giving his entire team extra shields to help support there. So EG were able to snowball that topside fight after a nice rotation from Dignitas. They kind of chunked out Jojo and then felt safe enough to get the inside track after FakeGod, you know, survived the attempt where they were looking at if they wanted to dive him or not.
You know, we've just known so many Jinx rockets and the like. Oh, Root coming on Jojo. He had the ultimate though, so he pops it again.
Yeah, might get the kill though.
Swinging, finds the right one, gets him down. Jojopyun now 1-1-1 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that was really well done. Able to sneak the auto in on the W and going to melee range, sets him up to then spin aggressively. It's something you have to keep in mind as LeBlanc. If you take your W in, you're going to end up back where you started. And if the tryndamere hasn't used his spin away, he can spin back in on you and then slow you with your chicken chow and then keep hitting you. So there is a couple more nuances that you do have for the tryndamere to actually win this matchup. If the LeBlanc ever blows the full combo there and doesn't actually get the chance to kill, this could also be one of those matchups that starts getting bad very quickly because Jojopyun can build defensive stuff and lifesteal and all these things to help in the side lane where it's a lot harder for the LeBlanc to itemize against the tryndamere going forward.
You're talking about the nuance. I like bringing it down just to what the tweets say. Spin-damere! Jojo's nuts. That's all you need to know. It's enough.
Brevity is the soul of wit. I said how many words? The tweet got me beat.
Yeah, I like all your words, Mark. They're good.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate this game, too. It's pretty wild. We already talked about what we were looking forward to with the draft, but getting to see it in action and just kind of that high-octane moments that you're really able to see when you
still there.
It's like that. He's chilling. He's turning back. Oh no, Jojopyun alone down here. Wave shoved in by Neo and Biofrost, and they have the range so they can continue just poking him down to keep him out so they can focus down on the turret. Also know that Vulcan is coming down from the opposite side. There is a ward that will catch him out, but Neo and Biofrost do back in time so they won't be sandwiched here. Biofrost almost looking like he wants to go for the play, but we also have Inspired coming down with Danny too, so multiple members of EG ready to contest if needed.
Yeah, I mean, right now, EG has already swapped their bot lane to the mid despite no turrets being down. I guess the top turret for EG, but the bot lane being up, the mid one being up, it's a little earlier than you often see, but you do get the inside track then on those rotations to come down and force the bot lane of Dignitas out of their pushing situation, because if you don't respect it, Vulcan's going to end up behind you, Inspired's going to end up behind you, and now that we're past 14 minutes again, they have that lane ward, so even the Renekton can join in on a TP play here if it's up.
Yeah, Unleashed teleport can be such a threat, the traditional teleport of
Damn,
times.
Inspired's rich.
He got that good money. Impact getting those good shots from FakeGod though, throws it back, activates the Lord Dominus. FakeGod gets the kill on the off of that action, but Jojopyun manages to answer it back.
FakeGod gets the 1-for-1 in 2v1, ends up at 2-2-1 now with his scoreline. Looking pretty good, but God, I just wonder, can he handle the tryndamere?
That's the problem, I think, that we have to ask ourselves when Jojopyun, we've seen it in some of those moments, but oh, all right. So let's see, what's Dash had to say? My weekly wager tweet, 14 minutes into the game. Dragons are even at 1-1.
Oh.
But EG finds themselves a 4K.
All right, this is BS.
Okay.
Dash tweeted this 1 second ago.
Well, it's a scheduled tweet, right?
That's what he says. I don't buy that.
You think
it's literally the game state. 1-to-1 in Dragons, Diana carrying up 4K. No. That's not real.
I need confirmation if Mr. Dash is actually a fortune teller or if he's just scamming us all.
Well, instead we might watch Danny die while we figure out.
River's hanging out over in the Raptor pit. Go over the wall if needed. Vulcan clearing out the ward, so River has made his way actually down towards the bot side where Impact currently resides. He just shoved up that wave, still has that turret available, so he's not really in dangerous territory.
God, I feel like River has been so close to having an amazing game. Just ended up a little bit short a couple of times in a row. Lee Sin is a champion where you can run over the game. If you start getting fed, you get your early gourd drinker, you start being able to 1v1 everyone on the map, and you can see the potential that River has and why he was brought over. But this game just showed up a little bit late a couple times, wasn't able to find the angle, or just slightly outplayed by Jojopyun, and now you're in the Lee Sin situation where you actually fell behind the state of the game, and you feel a little useless. He's still looking for angles, looking for insect kicks in, because that's basically what he is at this point in the game.
You can see the wheels turning in his head when wanting to try and make those plays, but then just getting a little stopped up by EG in their positioning. As far as the map state right now, though, Impact still residing over in that bot lane, does have his teleport available. Same with Gwen, who's actually joining the fight. Whoa, what a burn down, Neo. They no longer have their bot laner, and meanwhile, over towards the Riverside, a solar flare to try and get an additional kill onto River. They have lost 3 members on the side of Dignitas, and Blue, he's got to escape right now. Uses the blast cone to get away.
Dignitas just not respecting the potential for EG around that mid lane turret as they dropped it. Jojopyun saw Neo just positioned too far forward, jumped on his face. Blue able to get the W off during the stun to get out of there. Nicely done, but a quick 3-0 as Dignitas were mounting a counterattack. They were looking for flank opportunities, and EG were just too fast on the play. They're the ones who actually pulled the trigger.
And because of that, positioned in a way where they can safely drop down that Rift Herald, finish off that bot side turret. So now they have officially cracked into the side lanes. All right, let's see what Spawn had to say. Thank God for Jojopyun. Sick of seeing Victor versus Corki. Okay. Glad an aggressive mid is changing the NA meta. Already 3-0.
This was supposed to be at 14 minutes. I don't think he was 3-0 at 14 minutes. He was 3-1 after that kill, so wrong.
Wrong, but what we got right is a play here for EG side. Danny gets the kill credit after a nice setup from Vulcan. So Blue and Biofrost, who were originally rotating down, have to back off. FakeGod shoving up that top wave, though, so they can officially crack into a turret in their own favor.
Yeah, River and the rest of Dignitas trying to work their way in around that objective bounty in the top side, hoping to pick someone off in rotation, but just ended up face checking. Now EG have the control of this side, wanting to make a play on FakeGod, able to get away, and a 7,000 gold lead out of nowhere for them.
Look at that. Bounties available to Dignitas because of the breadth of that gold lead that EG have established. Confidence in the way EG can funnel over towards this top side. Jojopyun spending a lot of his tension in recent times to usher that wave, to take a tier 2 now. And even if anybody tried to turn things back onto him, the rest of EG is here and ready to stay. Vulcan, all right, this isn't where I want to go.
Vulcan was like, I don't know if I need to flash here, but I just blast coned like an idiot, so I'm going to flash away so this doesn't end up in a montage reel somewhere. So nicely done there to escape potential death and join up with the rest of his team.
Still doesn't need it to get with the rest of them, so he says, hey, I moved quick enough on my own. It's fine, it's fine. But meanwhile, over mid, Jojopyun keeps on the offset of 3 members of Dignitas, but Vulcan is looking for the collapse. Throws down the solar flare to finish off the kill onto River. Another blast down from a Jinx rocket to get the kill onto Jojopyun. Teleport from Impact, prematurely activating his predominance so that he can go in more effectively. And the stun up onto Neo. Immobile as he is, he cannot escape. 2 down on the side of Dignitas, 1 for Evil Geniuses as they continue their pursuit over onto this Baron side.
Yeah, River died early on in that. Jojopyun punched him again. Blue trying to save this situation. If he can finish off Danny, they might not be able to do this Baron. It might still be a little early, but that's the power of the Senna, being able to heal up so quickly.
Trying to take out any wards that Dignitas throw into this pit as well. The 4 members of Evil Geniuses have been funneled into the pit, and Biofrost standing on the outskirts to see if he needs to get some CC and try and turn it, but they decide not to. Evil Geniuses inspired, securing the objective and the Red Bull Baron buff.
10k gold lead up for EG.
That's a big one. I have scheduled this tweet to say that Inspired should be taking over the game by now, says Emily Rand.
Might be the most accurate since I don't believe in dashes. Jojopyun did kind of take the game over. He's got a Flame Horizon going officially now in the jungle over River. He is absolutely monstrous. You saw the gold lead that he had. We talked a lot more about Jojopyun just because he's like on the edge, knife edge between life and death. Right? He's a little bit easier to watch, but Inspired really has the most dominant performance over his counterpart, you could say. Though Jojo has looked really good himself. It's been a crazy game, honestly. It's 16 kills, but I feel like at every moment, someone's about to die.
Highest bounty for Inspired, too. I feel like there's a lot of little things that we could try and bring out to bring the argument in Emily Rand's favor. So I like the take, Emily. I like the take. And I like what Evil Geniuses are bringing to the table in terms of play. With the Baron buff that they have, they can escort this wave down mid. They've been able to just chunk down a lot of these turrets on the side lanes, and now taking down the mid one will give them the opportunity to crack open the map more and more as necessary. Already a lot of aggressive warding down on that bot side jungle for Dignitas, so Evil Genius is feeling secure in their push right now. Jojopyun making sure to stand by that bot side.
Yeah, good job getting wards out in general between the two lanes that they want to move between. And Impact, the side that they don't have vision control, is in the jungle clearing them out. So Biofrost got an angle to try and find one side to get vision control, but EG know that that's the side they have to stick their tank on to mark any potential flanks. Doing a good job pushing in with this Baron buff. Jojopyun playing off on the flank.
And Blue just wants to try and get in range to get some of the poke onto them and try and keep them away when they know it's going to take time for that next wave to come through in mid lane. Same with bot. Dignitas not working with a lot of vision of their own. They really only have some established over on that top side, so it's difficult for them to extend beyond their just base area right now. Ooh. A solar flare thrown down by Vulcan to zone off Neo. Difficult for him to poke away when there's a lot of CC coming his way. Biofrost goes in, gets a charm onto 2, but gets stunned up and taken down. Inspired with a kill credit. FakeGod now on the retreat, throws down some needlework, but it doesn't hit anybody, which means Evil Geniuses more secure in their health totals to take down that inhibitor and continue the push.
Don't have any minions yet, but there's still 20 seconds left on the Baron. They will get the mid ones in time to get a small bit of a Baron push in. Looks like they're going to prioritize getting the bot lane inhibitor turret, playing it smart, not trying to rush the end of the game. Get your 2 inhibitors down, get your reset, spend all that gold from all that global gold that you're getting, get your items, and then position up for the end of the game.
Feeling good about the healing that Danny provides, so even as they're getting poked down rather a little bit when going for those inhibs, they feel okay. Now they can back off, take the safe play. River, though, runs into a Jojopyun here in the jungle. Tries to pursue him a bit, but Inspired's coming on the opposite direction. Connects with the Q in pursuit, and River is dead. FakeGod coming on down for a moment, but there's nothing he can do about it at that point. Biofrost also looking to potentially get collapsed, but joins FakeGod over in the side lane. And Evil Geniuses keeping around. They want to stay here. They're saying, I like it. This part of the Rift feels nice to me.
Yeah, get the pick off on River. Maybe you don't have to do the reset move. Right into grabbing the 3rd inhibitor instead. They rotate up there. Jojo's back up to full health after grabbing that red buff as well. And with River down, that's kind of one of the main engage tools available for Dignitas. It's going to be easy to grab this. EG might not reset at all, but now they're going to have triple inhibitors down. You can potentially just sit on top of them here, not let them out of their base, and wait for the double super creeps to show up.
Oh, Lord, we're looking for the 5v5. Ultimate onto Blue. They pop him. The Leona ultimate's going to come up in just a little bit. Impact getting his and actually backing off. FakeGod now the target of Jojopyun, who's exhausted. FakeGod goes into stasis to keep himself alive, and Jojopyun backing off as soon as he activates that ultimate. 3 down on the side of Dignitas. The remaining 2 of the bot lane of Neo and Biofrost retreating into their fountain for a little bit of sustainability. But meanwhile, Danny's healing up everybody, keeping Inspired, keeping Jojopyun on it. They take down 1 turret. They take down another one. Biofrost shielding up Neo so he can get additional poke, but Inspired goes golden himself. Danny can get another hit onto the enemy ADC. Biofrost can't hold it on its own. Evil Geniuses undefeated in the group stage.
Evil Geniuses break out a different comp, finish out their group extremely well. And not only have they gone 4-0, Gabby has finished her first cast on the LCS stage.
You know, all I've wanted in my life is signature Emily Rand artwork. This makes me so happy. Oh, I don't know if you can hear, but she was saying that she did it earlier. Yes. You know, I'm gonna have to hang that on my wall.
I have one quick question for the both of you. I know you're keeping eagle eyes out for our tweets. Just wanted to get from the both of you who you think is the winner, the loser of that whole.
You cheated.
What do you mean I cheated?
Yours was not believable at all. I'm pretty sure I'm going with Emily. It felt like the most real.
Yeah.
What? But it was the lowest risk. It was low risk.
But it was accurate.
It was accurate, I will give you that. But by accuracy,
yes.
It's probably me.
I don't know if you're getting picked up at all on the microphone.
We probably are. Okay, we'll get out of here. You're amazing. Congrats.
Thank you. EG as well, deserving a lot of claps for them too. It's been a good day.
It's one thing to be one of the most hyped up teams coming into Lock-in Tournament. It's another to actually live up to that, not just because of your young guns popping off, but the veteran voices like Vulcan that you're looking to come through and really take a leadership hold of this team.
I don't know if I said Danny's name that entire game either, but he was incredible on Senna. He played a pretty flawless Senna game. I think he ended 4-0-8. He looked great. We already talked about Inspired and all like the impacts, Jojopyun as well. I always cast EG games, and I almost never mention Vulcan, but he's playing well every time. I feel like I never give him enough credit during the cast because there's always something else to be looking at. This was another incredible game out of Vulcan as well.
Isn't that the life of a support sometimes? You don't necessarily get to do the flashy part, but you help your team in the process.
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes it's the engagement, and you feel like all you're talking about is the support's engages or their roaming or their vision control. But when like tryndamere's almost dead 10 times in the first 5 minutes of the game, it's like, well, I guess I'm talking about that.
That's the thing about tryndamere, you know, a pick like that. When we saw Darshan last year, you know, in Academy, that's something that you'd pick out, and that felt like the rare occurrence. So I'm happy that somebody else has brought it through, not in the top lane, but here in the mid lane, and it was a sight to see for sure.
Yeah, definitely the case. Dignitas, not dead. They are still moving on in the best of 5. They have some things to learn from this game. I thought it looked good for FakeGod, taking an actually skill matchup as opposed to just weak side tank play. I think it showed that you can invest in him. You know, like that looked okay. River flew in this week. You could, I think, see some of the miscommunication a little bit, but you see the talent as well that he has.
It would be very understandable if things were a little rough at the start, but I think that they did show some of their potential for the later portions of this season. Now, we're going to go ahead and buy them some time to get back to the desk. Appreciate them